7:51 in the evening on June 17th, and we now have a tornado warning for the first time today in Ohio, in our coverage area. Let's get right to it. The National Weather Service in Cleveland has issued a tornado warning for northern Crawford, northwestern Richland, and southwestern Huron County. And this tornado warning is going to run until 12:15. A radar indicated potential tornado, or at least radar indicated rotation. So some of the places included in this tornado warning are Shelby, Plymouth, Willard, New Washington, and Tyro, just north of Bucyrus. So if you're in Bucyrus, you are not in the tornado warning. If you're in Crestline, you are not. But if you are in Shelby, New Washington, Plymouth, and Willard, between now and 12:15, you need to be in your safe spot. Again, we have a tornado warning for northern Crawford, northern Richland, and southern Huron County in Ohio until 12:15 this evening. And if you're just joining us on Facebook, I am going to update the title here. This is a tornado warning. I thought I updated that on the other method here. So let me see if I can't fix that really quick. Let's see. It's not working. Tornado warning in Ohio live coverage. 6/17/26. I apologize for the delay there. All right. Why don't we get into the nitty gritty on this one? So we are looking at this storm right now. We need to get a better look at it. We were looking at it from the Wilmington, Ohio radar, but let's look at the Cleveland radar, and we can really see where this storm is producing a lot of heavy rain. And this storm is right along a warm front that we've been watching all day. The warm front has lifted slowly to the north and has now really tapped into some very, very strong spin in the atmosphere. And that is what is going on right now. So let's see if we can see any rotation on radar and where that would be. Okay, so yeah, and in several different spots do I see potential rotation. I see it just near New Washington around State Route 103. I also do see some up here between Willard and Plymouth. So New Washington, Willard, and Plymouth all need to be in safe spots right now. I see several spots of rotation, and really the strongest signature is what we see north of New Washington. It is heading toward Willard and Plymouth, though. So even though I see areas of rotation near Willard and Plymouth, the one near New Washington is also heading there too. So some locations, some route numbers. We have US Route 224, so that goes between Attica and Willard. And even if you're in Greenwich, just outside of the warning, you really should be watching out. State Route 61, that goes north-south between Shelby and Plymouth and Willard. State Route 98, that runs through Tyro and runs into Richland County very, very briefly. But yeah, these are the areas I'm concerned about right now. North of New Washington, Willard, and Plymouth. Shelby does not seem to be in imminent danger right now, but you are in the tornado warning. These things can shift. So I would just be in your safe spot just to be safe. But Shelby, I do believe, is not going to bear the brunt of the storm. Places that would be New Washington, and even more so Willard and Plymouth. Willard being the largest city, about 6,000 people in Willard proper, and then several more in the surrounding rural areas around it. So certainly a significant part of the state of Ohio that is under the warning. Let's take a look at some comments here. Sirens are off in Galion. Yes, the sirens are probably going off in Galion because you're in Crawford County. But there is no tornado threat for Galion. So the tornado warning is in northern Crawford, so that's more so near New Washington. Southern Crawford near Galion is not in the warning. Also, if you're hearing tornado sirens going off in Richland County, Mansfield, Lexington, Belleville, you are not in the warning. Ontario is not in the warning. only spots in Richland County that are in the warning are Shelby, Shiloh, and Plymouth. And Plymouth is right on the county line. Really, I think the main concern is in Willard. I think Willard has the greatest concern right now. We're seeing lots of conflicting wind here. We're seeing lots of wind going toward and away from the radar. The strongest signature I see right now is right here, just southwest of Willard along US 224. And these are moving very quickly. These storms are moving at about 60 miles per hour, so you don't have a whole lot of time. I also do want to mention that we have a larger area under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. This severe thunderstorm warning includes pretty much the rest of Huron County, the southern portion of Lorain County. Also, it includes the far northern portion of Ashland County and the far western portion of Medina County. This severe thunderstorm warning is going to run until 12:30. This is the same storm cluster that is producing the concern. There is concern for damaging wind up to 60 miles per hour, but also the tornado warning warned storm near Willard is what I'm most concerned about right now. So again, if you are in Willard, you really, really, really need to be in a safe spot. Let's see if we have any debris signatures, and I don't see anything too telling of a tornado on the ground. I do see maybe some very weak debris signatures right to the west of Willard that may indicate a brief touchdown. The tornado may have touched down, but this is also a very rural area, so if it did touch down, it may not have struck any structures, which is good. We don't want that. But it is that area of debris, of very, very weak debris signature, is coupled with an area of rotation. So it's something to be looking out for. I don't believe there's a large tornado or an active tornado immediately on the ground, but there could be at any moment, and that's why we're being very, very, very cautious of this. Yes. Galleon is in the clear right now. I do indeed read the comments, but there are a lot of them, so I try my best to read when I can. Yes, and sirens are typically county-wide unless you're in one of the larger counties like Franklin, Cuyahoga, Hamilton, Montgomery. Those counties do have kind of a split system where they only they basically have the sirens go off in quadrants based on where the warning is. But in less populated counties, like Crawford, Richland, Huron, they typically go off for the whole county. So Crestline, Galleon, you are indeed safe from this storm. It's northern Crawford, northern Richland, and southern Huron, particularly Willard, New Washington, and Plymouth, that I'm the most concerned about right now. And that does not mean we should be ignoring the severe thunderstorm warning that is also in effect for the rest of Huron County, part of Lorain, and Medina County as well. That runs until 12:30. The tornado warning is going to run until 12:15. So we're at least going to be under this tornado warning for another 15 minutes. And we are tracking some area of strong rotation. Now, what's interesting about what's going on here, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit just to show you, we have been tracking storms all day long along a warm front that's now sitting from about Van Wert to Willard over to about Akron. And this warm front is really where a lot of the rotation has concentrated, and that is now why we are seeing this area of rotation near Willard. I also want to mention, we now have a new tornado warning to talk about in the state of Ohio. It's about 200 miles to the south. And this tornado warning is indeed for northern Butler, southern Preble, southern Montgomery, and a very, very small portion of Warren County. This is going to run until 12:30. And we do have a small supercell thunderstorm that's responsible for this. We can actually see a bit of a hook echo right here near Oxford. So that's near Miami University. And let's take a look at the velocity on this. And yes, we do see an area of strong rotation right here, east of Oxford, State Route 177, State Route, or I should say US 127 that runs through Butler and into Preble County. So if you are in Camden, Gratis, West Elkton, If you are in Farmersville, Germantown, even Miamisburg, I would be looking out for this. Jacksonburg, Middletown, even Franklin. You are just outside the warning in Franklin. That's in Warren County. You need to be in a safe spot because this storm is showing some very strong rotation right here along State Route 177 and US 127 in northern Butler County, about to head into Preble in Montgomery County. So if you're in Dayton, you are not in the warning yet, Dayton, but you're close. So you really need to be keeping an eye on the situation. Let's see if we see any debris. Well, I do see what could be maybe a bit of a debris signature here. So we could have a tornado that either has been on the ground or is currently on the ground. It's not a strong debris signature, but it's stronger than the one I was seeing up in Huron County. So we really, really need to take this very seriously. Again, a tornado may have been on the ground or could be on the ground very soon. We see a very definitive hook echo right here, just to the east of Oxford. And let me switch back over. And we definitely see wind and velocity on radar there. So again, Shelby, Ohio, you should be good. Willard, basement for sure. Columbus, Newark is okay. Wind is picking up in Shelby. Nova, look out for strong wind. Yes, I know we have a lot of comments, and I'm gonna try to get to as many as I can. But let me go over the two areas I'm most concerned about right now. Again, northern Butler, southern Preble, southern Montgomery County. This does not yet include the city of Dayton, but you should be watching if you're in the city of Dayton. We have a very strong area of rotation along State Route 177, just to the east of Oxford. And if you're in Middletown, Germantown, Farmersburg, Camden, Gratis, Miamisburg, any of those places, you need to keep your eye on it. All right, let's go back up to the northern tornado warning. This is up here in Huron, Richland, and Crawford County. Still a good deal of rotation possible here. It looks to have moved through Willard now. Again, all of these storms, including the southern one in Butler County, are all moving very fast. We're talking 60 miles per hour. So we have a very short window because of that. They're moving very, very quickly. And can produce damaging wind as well. There is a ton of rotation and spin in the atmosphere this evening. That's been something we've been tracking all day. The tornado risk didn't pan out earlier in the day, but now as more and more wind dynamics push into Ohio, now that we're at midnight, even though we don't have the sun's energy in them anymore, we have so much wind energy throughout the entire atmosphere that we're just now tapping into it. So again, we have this tornado warning in effect. The main area of concern is between New Washington, Willard, and Plymouth. Shelby, you should be safe. Crestline, Galleon, safe. Mansfield, Lexington, Lucas, Belleville, Butler, safe. Ashland, safe right now. Need to be in safe spot. Willard, Plymouth, North Fairfield, Greenwich. If you're in Norwalk, you're fine. I would be watching. If you're in New London, I'd be watching. If you're in southern Lorraine or western Medina County, you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, but you should be watching because this storm is moving very, very fast. And that's the update I have on that. I don't know if I see a very strong debris signature, although I do see maybe a very, very weak indicator of maybe a tornado that's kind of touchdown, lifted, just near Willard. Very, very serious situation, though. So we should be in our safe spot in Willard. And that also includes the Holiday Lakes area, north of Willard there. All right, let's go back down to our southern tornado warning. Also, I do want to mention that we do also have two other tornado warnings just outside of our viewing area. We have this one. Let me put it on radar here. This is for Dearborn and Ohio County, Indiana, with that storm tracking south of Cincinnati. So we're going to have to watch the Cincinnati metro area. I do think if that warning gets extended to the east, it'll be in northern Kentucky. So that would be CVG Airport. It would be Covington and Newport and places like that. But it could include downtown Cincinnati. So we're going to have to watch that very closely. Also, this one back here in south of Columbus, Indiana, this storm has been cycling quite a bit. So we'll have to watch that as it heads towards Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. But in our viewing area, perhaps the strongest and most concerning storm I see in our area is this, a very, very well-defined hook echo that's on top of US 127 in northern Butler County, about to cross over State Route 503. This is near Somerville, south of Gratis, north of Middletown, near Miamisburg, Germantown, and Farmersville. Also Franklin and Springboro. You're not in the warning, but you're close. I'd be watching out if you're in Franklin or Springboro. Big hook echo right here. All right, I am going to check to see if I have any new information. Okay. New tornado warning. We got that. Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, no new major updates at the moment. All right, so in that case, let's go ahead and switch our velocity on. And yeah, the rotation it does not seem to be as strong as the last scan, but there's definitely some rotation right here along US 127 in northern Butler County. So certainly something to be concerned about. Again, if you are in southern Montgomery County, a lot of populated areas here: Germantown, Farmersville, Miamisburg, Franklin, Springboro, Middletown, Gratis, Camden, really need to be in your safe spots, because this storm, if it's not producing a tornado right now, it could produce a tornado at any moment. Not seeing a well-defined debris signature, but I definitely see rotation right here. Let me try to zoom in a little more. US 127 right here. It's about to cross State Route 744 between Jacksonburg and West Elkton. So the rotation's right there, and it's moving very, very fast at about 60 miles per hour. So yeah, it's a serious situation. That is our southern storm. Had a couple comments about Lebanon. Lebanon, you are not in the warning. You should be fine. Hamilton is not in the warning. Monroe, either, Mason, all those places are not in the warning. But we do have Franklin and Springboro that should be watching out, including Germantown, Farmersville, Miamisburg, Gratis, and even Middletown. So, Middletown being larger, about 60,000 people there, and in the surrounding areas even more. Miamisburg is a large suburb of Dayton. Same with Farmersville and Germantown are also suburbs of Dayton in Montgomery County. So if you're in Kettering or Centerville, you're not in the warning, but you should be watching. I would not go to bed if you're in those communities, because this storm, again, is moving so quickly that this tornado warning could get extended. We have to watch it very, very closely. The rotation on radar isn't as strong, but it does have that classic hook echo when you throw the rain product on the radar. And it does have a history of strong rotation, and it may have even touched down briefly east of Oxford. So we have to watch that very, very carefully. All right, let's do a bigger picture, and we do have a new tornado warning now. I'm not surprised by this for northern Kentucky. So this is going to be for Boone and Kenton County. This is going to run until 1 o'clock this morning, so that does include the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Airport. It does include the southern portions of Covington, Kentucky, so that stretches all the way down about a good chunk through Kenton County there. It does not include downtown Cincinnati. It does not include the riverfront area of Covington, but it's close. It's very close to Cincinnati, Ohio River. I do think it's going to move away from Cincinnati, but we're gonna have to watch to see what happens here in Claremont and Brown County a little bit later. So again, a tornado warning for Boone and Kenton County until 1 a.m. And also back here in Indiana, we now have a confirmed tornado south of Columbus, Indiana. So not Columbus, Ohio, Columbus, Indiana. So it's still producing confirmed tornadoes. All right, so we talked about that. Let's go back to our northern one. Let's see if we've got any updates on that. We'll switch back to the Cleveland radar. And we still have a pretty strong storm between Willard and Plymouth here. We might even be seeing some small hail near Plymouth. Let's see if we have any rotation, and we do. We do have some area of rotation still between Willard and Plymouth along State Route 61 and 224. So that's the New Haven area. So New Haven, it's a big junction there where 598, 61, and 224 come together. That is my area of concern. That is now moving, though, quickly to the east. So it's not in the warning, but if you're in Greenwich, State Route 13 and 250, that is an area that I'd be really watching. The tornado warning has not been extended there, but I'd watch. I would be exercising caution there because of the tornado threat that has existed there in southern Huron County. Now, I will say again, if you're in Shelby, you're in the clear. New Washington, be cautious. I wouldn't get out of your safe spot just yet, but you probably will be able to soon. But pretty much all of Richland County is in the clear now. Belleville, Butler, you're fine. It's really, really, really straddling the county line along 224 in southern Huron County that I'm most concerned about. Maybe northern Crawford County here. So that's our northern warning. That's going to expire in 2 minutes. We'll see if the Weather Service in Cleveland extends that. I don't see any well-defined debris signatures, but I do see some areas of potential rotation. So we could see that get extended. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for points to the east. So the rest of Huron County, parts of Lorain and Medina County. That severe thunderstorm warning is going to run until 12:30. Lakeshore communities are not included. So Vermilion, Lorain, Avon Lake, Amherst, Elyria, you're not in that warning. But Wellington and Rochester, some small towns in southern Lorain County, and western Medina County are. We have a lot of spin in the atmosphere tonight, so anything can really spin up and cause some damage here. All right, so that's our northern warning. Let's go back to our southern one. We're going to kind of switch back and forth. Now, I know I've had some questions about some other areas. If I haven't mentioned your town in either of one of these places, I'm not concerned right now. Columbus, I'm not concerned. Dayton, I am, just because we do have southwestern Montgomery County that is in a tornado warning until 12:30. This storm seems to have weakened a little. I'm not seeing the well-defined hook echo that we had 5-10 minutes ago. But it still has a history of that. So if you're in Germantown, Miamisburg, Franklin, Springboro, really be looking out for this. Same with Gratis, same with Farmersville. Okay, we just got a new scan update there. We do have some area of rotation near Jacksonburg, right here. So we still need to be looking out very carefully for that. And, there could be a little bit of debris there. It doesn't look particularly strong, but anything that's not red near an area of rotation on our debris tracker here could indicate that a tornado is either on the ground or cycling up and down near the area. Let's see. The rotation's there near Jacksonburg. We really, really need to be careful here. Again, this is going to be northern Butler, Franklin and Springboro, portions of Warren County, southern and southwestern Montgomery County, and southern and southeastern Preble County. So that's our other warning. We do have that area of some strong rotation possible right here near Jacksonburg. I'm also going to see if I've got some new information for you all. Okay, we do have new information. The tornado warning, our northern tornado warning, has been extended. Yes. Okay. So let's get right to that. So that tornado warning for the Willard area has now been extended to the east and now includes Greenwich, New London. It also includes a small portion of northern Ashland County. So Bailey Lake, Savannah, and even Nova in northern Ashland County. And this tornado warning is going to run until 12:45 because the Weather Service is confident that the rotation is still there and could still be dangerous. And I agree. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here on my radar. Several areas of rotation. I see an area of rotation still back here in New Washington. So if you're in Willard, you're not in the clear yet. Shelby, you are in the clear. This is well north of Shelby now. Bucyrus, Crestline, Galleon, you're in the clear. It's well north of you. Again, it's everyone in this red polygon here. I know it's hard to see, so I'm going to put the radar back on. So we're going to detect rain now. But between Willard, Plymouth, still under the gun. New London, you are now under a tornado warning. And Savannah and Nova in northern Ashland County, Bailey Lake, you are under the tornado warning. City of Ashland, you are not. Mansfield, you are not. Medina County, not yet, but we're watching in that area because it's just to your east. So a lot to look out for here. But that is the new update we got from the Weather Service. Sirens are probably going off in Crestline because part of Crawford County is in a warning. I know that is kind of frustrating, but what happens is if one part of the county is usually in a warning, they'll sound the sirens for the whole county. That's not typically the case in more populated counties like Cuyahoga, Franklin, Hamilton, Montgomery. But in some smaller counties, that's usually the procedure. And it has to do, not that smaller counties are any less important. That's not the case at all. But it's just, it comes from an emergency management standpoint. Emergency management controls sirens. The National Weather Service does not. They respond to the National Weather Service. So that's why, but you are safe in Crestline. All right, so that's an update on our northern storm. Let's get back to our southern. We do have an update here. It seems that the tornado warning has been trimmed back a little bit, but the Weather Service in Wilmington is still concerned that this storm is entering Preble County and Montgomery County right now. City of Dayton, Kettering, Centerville, some of the larger populated areas in Montgomery County are not under the tornado warning right now. But look at this near Jacksonburg. We have a very, very strong rotation signature there. So this could be a tornado on the ground, and I think we should treat it that way. I'm looking on the radar in a couple other areas. And okay, yeah, it's strong rotation, but it's cycling. I don't believe it's going to be a consistent tornado on the ground, and I don't see anything that would indicate a strong debris signature, but it's definitely could drop a tornado at any moment. The rotation is there. Overall, the whole atmosphere across Ohio right now has some pretty strong rotation. Again, I know it's starting to enter some pretty populated areas. Everyone's important, small population or large population, but it is going to be impacting a lot of people here very soon. So again, I think I know Miamisburg is outside the red polygon, but I really would be in your safe spot. Basement, away from windows, interior closet, bathroom, any place in your home that you believe is going to put the most walls and ceilings between you and the outside is going to be your ideal case here. But yeah, this is a storm that could drop a tornado at any moment. So we're going to be watching it very carefully. This tornado warning is set to expire in 9 minutes. But we may see it extended into Montgomery County if it's going further into Montgomery County, I should say, if it's going to potentially still have that tornado threat. So I'm going to keep an eye on my other screen on that. I am going to try to look at comments here. We have a lot of comments. I know I can't answer everyone, but I'm going to try my best. Again, if I'm not talking about your specific town right now, I'm not too worried about what you're going to experience. There's no immediate threat unless I'm explicitly talking about where you are. Bucyrus is clear. Carlisle, yeah, Carlisle, you're just far enough. I don't know, man. I think Carlisle. Carlisle in Warren and Butler County area. You may want to still be in your safe spot. It's to the north of you. In fact, this new scan actually puts the hook part of the storm near Germantown in Montgomery County. So it looks to me that the hooking part of the storm is now in Montgomery County. But let's take a look at velocity. Okay, so the velocity signature doesn't look as bad anymore. It looks like the area of rotation is right here, right where the hook was when we were tracking it with precipitation. Right here along the Butler and Montgomery County line. It's weaker than last scan. So again, just because it's weaker doesn't mean we don't have to watch it, but that's good news. That means it's probably not producing a tornado right now. And that's good because it's entering a pretty populated area. So again, southern Montgomery County until 12:30 a.m. That's going to be another 8 minutes. Let's see if the Weather Service has any text updates for us. Tornado warning for located near Gratis, moving east at 50. So yeah, it's moving very, very fast. And look how quickly we're getting these radar scans and just how fast it's moving. So if you're in Miamisburg, it's almost there now. It's in Germantown right now. Miamisburg, you're next. We will see if the Weather Service elects to continue the tornado warning. Just a reminder that we also have this tornado warning until 1 o'clock in the morning. This does include the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Airport. So that is Boone and Campbell County, Kentucky. Let's take a look at the CVG radar really quick. So what we can do is we can actually tap into the terminal Doppler radar at CVG, which sits south of Covington here in Kenton County. The radar is a little removed from the airport, so it gives a better atmospheric scan. If the radar was right at the airport, we wouldn't see anything. We got to put the radar a little farther away from the airport so we can see the airport a little bit better. All right, so CVG is right. The CVG radar is in a really good spot to give good radar coverage for Cincinnati. Yeah, and it's showing definitely some rotation out here near south of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Really close to the airport, so I would assume if there were any flights that were going to go out after midnight, there's a ground stop at CVG right now. I can't confirm that, but I want to assume that's the case. But there does not indicate to me that there's a tornado on the ground. The rotation's there, but it's really broad. We are going to have to watch very, very carefully to see how this impacts the rest of the southern Cincinnati metro. It does not include the city of Cincinnati, but it's just south of Covington. We're going to have to watch over here in Claremont County and Brown County here in a little bit. So that's why I'm keeping a close eye on this storm. We also have a confirmed tornado out here to its west, south of Columbus, Indiana, that's holding together. So we're going to be watching that very, very closely. Okay. I am being corrected here. We now have a confirmed tornado right here. It's crossing the Ohio River. Where I said that area of rotation doesn't look very strong, it is strengthened up really fast. That's the issue. Every radar update that we get, we could see rotation tightening and weakening in every rotation. So we now have a confirmed tornado crossing the Ohio River into Boone County, Kentucky, near the CVG airport. So if you know anybody that might be at CVG airport right now, I would assume that there's a ground stop and people are in their shelter. Now that the Weather Service has confirmed a tornado that is crossing the Ohio River in northern Boone County. So this includes the I-71 stretch between Crestview Hills and Walton, where it splits into 71 and 75. Again, a confirmed tornado right here north of Rising Sun, Indiana, near the CVG airport. I'm going to put the debris tracker on this one. Again, this is just outside our coverage area, but it's so close to Cincinnati and the northern Kentucky areas. I really, really, really want to see if we have any debris on this one. So we're going to switch back to the Wilmington radar, which might give us a view on that. Oh yeah, we definitely have debris right here. This is a tornado on the ground. Again, south of 275, northern Boone County, tornado on the ground, heading straight for the Cincinnati airport. Not good. Not good. Okay. Let me see if I can get any more information on that. Okay, some good news. That's bad. But let's get some good news here. They are going to expire the tornado warning in Montgomery County, although I'm still seeing some rotation there. Weak, but it's still there. So if you're in Dayton, don't go to bed yet. Watch it closely. There's no imminent danger, but watch it. It's going to expire, but we're still going to watch it. We've got a tornado on the ground just south of Cincinnati right here, near the Cincinnati airport. That is a serious situation. Confirmed tornado on the ground. Let's go back up to our northern storm. We've got a lot going on. So let's go back to our northern storm. I know we have a lot of people in north central Ohio that are watching as well and are probably concerned. Still several areas of rotation from Willard, New London, and let's see. Okay, I was just trying to check to see if we have any new information. Shiloh. So again, still, Shelby, Mansfield, Lexington, Belleville, Lucas, you're all fine. Ashland, Mifflin, Charles Mill, Loudonville, Mohican, you're fine. This is just far northern Richland and far northern Ashland and southern Huron County. This tornado warning is going to run until 12:45 a.m. Still some areas of rotation. We might even have spin-ups on the ground here in Huron County. I'm seeing what could be a little bit of debris north of Willard. Debris possible north of Willard. Again, the Weather Service has not upgraded this to a confirmed tornado, and I'm going to look at another product I've got here, but I don't know. There might be something here. So again, southern Huron County, Willard, Greenwich, North Fairfield, Fitchville, that's 250 and 13. You're in the path of this. New London, you're in the path of this. We've got a lot going on right now. So I'm concerned about that. That's our northern storm that I'm concerned about. If you're in southern Lorraine, if you're in western Medina, you need to be watching this very closely. If you're in any of those areas, don't go to bed yet. We do have a hook near Greenwich heading toward New London. We also still have some rotating storms back toward Willard. It's been really, really persistent in the Willard area in the last 30 minutes. All right, let's get down. All right, Dayton area, your tornado warning's been canceled, but still look out. That storm has a history of rotating. It's weaker, but look out for it. Southern Montgomery County near Miamisburg. All right, confirmed tornado, northern Kentucky here, very close to the Cincinnati airport. It does appear that we have a debris signature right here south of Lawrenceburg, north of Rising Sun. That's not very far from CVG. So we'll be watching that very carefully. Florence, Kentucky, if you're just across the river. So if you're in, let's see, downtown Cincinnati, you're not in the warning, but it's close. And that's why we're really concerned. The airport is a big deal. Knowing that we have people that work there might be people that are trying to catch a flight. I would say the debris signature looks a little weaker in this scan, but it's definitely there. Let's see. Yeah, a confirmed tornado was located over Rising Sun, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Radar shows tornado debris in the air. Yeah, okay. So that's exactly what I'm seeing. That's what they're seeing. It's a big deal. So Cincinnati Airport taking cover, Florence, Kentucky, Independence, Kentucky, even Covington, Kentucky. needs to be really, really, really watching this. So just outside our viewing area, but Cincinnati Airport is a major, major part of the Cincinnati Metro. Also a confirmed tornado in this storm back near Seymour. You see how on my radar, these tornado warnings are kind of have like a pinkish flashing glow. That tells me that there is a confirmed tornado. So it's a little more urgent than a tornado warning where it's radar indicated. So like this one just changed back to radar indicated, meaning the rotation is there, but we're not sure if it's on the ground. This one we're sure it's on the ground. There's a defined debris signature near CVG Airport. Dayton storm still unwarned, so that's good. Let's get back up to Huron County. We do have an update from the Cleveland Weather Service. So let me see if I can see what their text update is on this one. All right. So severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Plymouth. All right. I think it's moved east of Plymouth now. I think it's near Greenwich and New London. And it's moving east at 45. So the storms are slowing down, but 45 is still fast. That's roughly the same speed of the Cincinnati airport as well. New London and Savannah, you're probably going to see this around now. So, all right, if you are in southern Lorain and western Medina County, you're not in the warning yet, but watch this storm very, very closely. Again, this warning is supposed to expire in about 11 minutes, but we're going to have to watch it. Now, there is a storm back in Bucyrus. I'm not too concerned about it, but everything's rotating. So what I mean by that is there's a lot of spit in the atmosphere. So we're going to have to watch a lot of these storms. And even if you're seeing the storms in Medina and Summit County right now, just keep an eye on it. But the tornado warning is for this one near New London right now. All right, back to the south again. Dayton, still okay. Confirmed tornado warning still near CVG Airport in Cincinnati. Why don't we turn the CVG radar on? We have a pretty well-defined hook right here on radar south of Burlington, heading right toward Florence. You may know for those of you who travel in the area, you may know the Florence Y'all Water Tower. That's what I'm talking about, like that area right there. Well-defined hook echo. We're going to try to get velocity here. I'm going to try to take a look at the winds. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be as tight as it did, but if there is a tornado, it's going to be right here. So just a tinge south of CVG. So CVG is over here. Just south of CVG, maybe clipping CVG on the south end. Let me make sure I'm not missing any other important landmarks that may not be showing up on the radar product. All right, let's get down here. So yeah, so just to make sure, yeah, CVG is about right here. So it looks like the rotation is passing just south of CVG, but it's very close, heading toward Florence. The rotation seems to be weaker, but it's there. And it does have a history of producing a tornado. And the Weather Service has now extended the tornado warning into the rest of Kenton and Campbell County now. So that's going to include Alexandria, Kentucky. And this tornado warning is going to run until 1:15 for this same storm. If you're in Claremont County, you need to be watching closely. If you are in Anderson Township, I would watch in Anderson down here. So down here is like Riverbend area. I'd be watching. You are just outside the tornado warning right near Riverbend. So that, again, none of the Ohio portion of this is in a tornado warning, but this was a confirmed tornado. It's not right now. It doesn't look like it's currently on the ground, but it could at any moment. So Cincinnati and any Ohio area not under the tornado warning now, but could be soon. We'll be watching it very, very closely. And we still have a hook well-defined hook near Florence, south of CVG right there. I do think CVG narrowly missed it, but I would still assume CVG is taking cover right now. Another tornado warning still back here in Indiana that we're watching. And we still do have our northern tornado warning. Let's put the Cleveland radar back on for the storm near New London. Now, if I were, let's put the velocity back on here, and I'm also going to look at comments here just to kind of see what people are saying. Willard, it looks like Willard is finally in the clear. Plymouth, you're most likely in the clear. It's New London and now heading into Lorain and northern Ashland County that I'd be looking. We had a couple questions about Northeast Ohio. I do believe Cleveland and the suburbs are far enough north that we're not going to see a major tornado threat there. Have a way to get warnings. The Ohio News and Weather app is a great way to do that. You can find that on the App Store and Google Play. A weather radio or some way to be awakened if some sort of warning is issued. I think Cleveland and a lot of these places are far enough from the warm front that I don't think the threat is all that high. I think this is about the northern extent of the threat right here. So like Medina to Akron to Ravenna. Those spots might need to look out, but Cleveland might just be far enough north, but we're going to be keeping an eye on it. All right, we're going to see if this is producing anything. It does look weaker now, but it would be over New London, and actually it would be over like north of Savannah and near Nova now, right along State Route 511 and State Route 162. That's actually in southern Lorain County there where those intersect. So we'll be seeing if this is allowed to continue, if there's enough evidence to continue a tornado warning. I do think that there is some weak rotation near New London, so it bears watching. I don't see any major debris signatures near there right now, so we'll see if that hopefully is allowed to expire, but we're going to be watching it very closely. It's set to expire at in about a little more than 5 minutes. So, yeah, Columbus, I think Columbus is going to be fine. I'm not seeing anything in the Columbus area that's too concerning. In fact, Columbus is not in a tornado watch. Let's actually talk about the tornado watch for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the radar in Ohio for a second. And just kind of show you where the weather alerts are. So, folks that are in the yellow counties, so that includes Montgomery, Hamilton, all the way over to Ross and Scioto County, Warren County, all those places, that tornado watch runs until 5 in the morning. I do think that's going to get canceled early. Again, that's a tornado watch, meaning conditions are favorable, ingredients are there, but the tornado isn't happening. That said, we did have that storm in near southern Dayton. It's actually moving very, very quickly. It's over Centerville right now. The one that had the history of rotation does not appear to be as strong anymore. I don't see any major areas of rotation there, so that's good news. But we're going to watch it because that storm has had a history. Now, where we're really concerned is south of Cincinnati in northern Kentucky, over Florence right now, a tornado warning for Florence. Now, I would not be surprised if we had a tornado that might be crossing I-71, I-75 in Florence right now. That is a tight couplet on radar. We have the reds and the greens on top of each other, right over 71, 75 in Florence. So that's the Florence Y'all water tower area. There's a Costco there, the Florence Mall. That area I'm really concerned about. This would track east into Kenton County really, really soon. So that's going to be the south side of Covington, Taylor Mill, Highland Heights. That's the home of Northern Kentucky University. You are in the tornado warning. None of the Ohio counties are in the tornado warning right now, but I would, because this may be an ongoing tornado, there's strong evidence of it. Anderson Township near Riverbend, keep an eye on it. Amelia, Route 52 in Ohio in Claremont County, keep an eye on it. This storm is moving very, very quickly. So yes, I do not believe it's headed for downtown Cincinnati, but I do believe it could be hitting some of the eastern suburbs, especially in Claremont County. Again, Anderson Township near Riverbend, near the river, would need to keep an eye on it. I think Anderson's good, but you still might need to keep an eye on it. All right. Latest radar scan shows this has strengthened. So I kind of believe a tornado might be on the ground again here. Let's take a look at the Wilmington radar and see if we can get a debris signature on this one. The airport radar doesn't do debris signatures the way the weather service radars do. I don't see a strong debris signature. I do see potential weak debris signature there, but I also see the Cincinnati radar. If we go back to velocity again, boy, that's a really strong velocity signature there. That if it's not a tornado on the ground, it could be very soon. So that's the case there. Let's see if we have any new updates. All right. Let's go back up to our northern warning. All right, northern warning is going to expire in less than 2 minutes. So that's New London, Willard, Shiloh, all those places. I am hopeful that this will get to expire, but I don't know. There's still some weak rotation. There's a lot of spin. This is right along the warm front. This one could be extended if there's evidence that tornadoes could persist into Lorain and Medina County. So we're going to have to watch that over the next couple of minutes. New radar scan still shows some weak rotation out there near New London. Debris signature, I don't necessarily see it. But again, it has a history. So we're going to see if the Weather Service decides to extend that warning or let it go. Even if they do let it go, we're going to still watch it because that storm of that storm's history. And maybe we'll see a severe thunderstorm warning issued. But big picture. Let's do big picture here. Because I know we've gotten a lot of questions about specific towns. And, unfortunately, when we cover the whole state, it's hard to answer everyone's questions. We have a lot of folks watching, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Like, I'm very thankful that you are. But our two main areas of concern are this tornado warning up here in Huron County and this tornado warning with a very strong signature near Florence, Kentucky. And again, I know that's outside of our coverage area. We probably have some folks watching from there as well. And I'm concerned about Claremont County here along the river. I'm even slightly concerned about the Anderson Township portion of Hamilton County. Again, not in the warning, but they're close. So we also have a flash flood warning back here in Dearborn County, Indiana. The storm, the tornado warning back here has been canceled, although that storm that produced it still does have a bit of a hook. And it is heading east towards Cincinnati. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that one too. But again, the most concerning storm in our area right now is the one that is near Florence, Kentucky, and very well may be producing a tornado near I-71, 75 in Florence right now. That is a strong, strong tornado signature there. Let's see if we can get any updates from any of our partners. Maybe from the National Weather Service. Let me refresh my feeds here. Well, all right, let's focus on this one first before I divert my attention away. I do believe the warning in Huron County has been let go. That's good news. But this is still a very strong signature area of rotation that's now mostly in Kenton County. So we can pretty much say that CVG is safe from tornado activity right now. But where isn't? Well, that's Taylor Mill, Highland Heights, south side of Covington. So Covington actually extends all the way like down near 275. So that portion of Covington should be taking shelter. The riverfront portion of Covington is fine, but we're going to be watching in southern Anderson Township in Hamilton County and also southern Claremont County near Amelia as this approaches that area, because this storm has a history of that. I think downtown Cincinnati's okay. I know downtown Cincinnati is getting a lot of rain. I know there's a lot of heavy rain over eastern Hamilton County right now, as particularly Anderson, Mount Washington, Milford getting a lot of rain, Indian Hill, Silverton, Madeira, suburbs like that. And even on the west side near Cheviot, and really the whole city of Cincinnati getting a lot of heavy rain. But the tornado threat is on the northern Kentucky side near Taylor Mill right now. All right, so that's the big picture for the Cincinnati metro area. The storm that produced the tornado warning in Butler and Montgomery County has now moved to Xenia. Not seeing a hook, not seeing any strong rotation, although there is some weak rotation right here between Beaver Creek and Xenia. We'll be watching that to see if it tightens up a little bit, but right now it's rotating, but it's weak. So I'm hoping that's not going to strengthen at all. Let me switch to the Dayton Airport radar. Yeah, the Dayton Airport radar is not showing a whole lot of rotation, but it is rotating. Storms are going to be rotating this overnight hours, and we were concerned about that. What was kind of a bust today was the daytime stuff. This morning there was some data suggesting that we might get some possible tornadic storms while the sun was still up. That didn't really pan out. It rained a little too much in western Ohio earlier today, and that kind of killed that threat despite all the spinning. Personally, I was traveling along Route 30 between Bucyrus and Mansfield earlier today, and I did see some lowerings and wall clouds around 6 to 7 p.m. that looked like it was going to be that daytime tornado that we were forecasting. It didn't pan out, and that's great. But the nighttime event is kind of happening as scheduled. We knew that there was going to be a nighttime threat, which is unfortunate. A lot of people want to go to bed. You can't see it at night. People are already sleeping. It's a terrible time for tornadoes. There's never a good time for a tornado, but especially now it's not good. And that's what's happening. The good news is that it's not as widespread as we originally thought. We did think that we might have more numerous tornado warned storms, but we kind of did. We had the northern one near Willard and New London. By the way, I think it's important to talk about that. The National Weather Service in Cleveland has decided to let the tornado warning go. The storm that was responsible for that is still here near New London, and it's small. It still has a little hook on it. It's still strong in its own right, but we're not seeing that strong rotation that we used to see about an hour ago when we began our stream. We've been streaming for about an hour now, believe it or not. Some strong thunderstorms over here near Ravenna, north of Hudson. I think these are north of the warm front. We're not even seeing a whole lot of lightning tonight. Maybe just a little. But I don't believe those have a tornado threat as of right now. Still going to want to watch this storm near New London, near Wellington and Spencer, just because of its history. It's not currently threatening, but just because of its history, we want to watch it. Same with that storm near Xenia. that had the history of producing some rotation and possibly a brief tornado. It's not currently threatening with that, other than the fact that there is some very weak rotation near Xenia, just along 35 to the immediate west of Xenia, but it's weak rotation, and I don't believe it's producing a tornado or a tornado threat at this time. But what we really need to watch is what's going on here in Kenton and Campbell counties. We have more indication that we could have either extremely strong rotation or an ongoing tornado near Taylor Mill. This is the signature from the National Weather Service radar in Wilmington. We can switch this to the CVG radar, which is very close by, which gives us a better look just because it's so close. The airport, I believe the airport is in the clear now. CVG airport should be in the clear. And it does appear on the CVG radar that this has weakened a little. It's cycling. It's strengthening and weakening, strengthening and weakening. So we're going to have to see if it strengthens again. I certainly hope it doesn't. But with the way this day's been going, it could. So if you're in this tornado warning or know anyone who may be at Northern Kentucky University, I know it's summer, but there are still students on campus, Alexandria, Kentucky, and then nearby, not in the warning, but nearby, far southern Anderson Township near Riverbend. Belterra Park is down there as well. And down near New Richmond, Amelia, and California, Ohio. You're not in the warning, but you're in the path of this storm within the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. So I would not go to bed if you're in Amelia, New Richmond, or any of those places I just mentioned, because it could come your way. And that's just the way that this evening has gone. This is the only warned storm right now, though, in our coverage area, which is good news that the vast majority of us are actually in the clear right now. We do have ongoing heavy rain near Springfield, but no indication of any tornadic activity there. But it bears checking because that's a populated area. Let's see if there's any rotation near Springfield. I don't see any. I'll switch to the Dayton radar. The Dayton airport radar, which is over in Miami County near Troy. Yeah, I don't see any rotation on that one. Some weak rotation near Xenia. Again, still not a major concern, although it has strengthened a little bit. Some weak but slightly strengthening rotation near Xenia. That is the same storm that produced that tornado warning in Butler and Montgomery County about 45 minutes ago. So it has a history. It bears watching. I don't think it's dropping a tornado in Xenia right now. I know that's a serious situation for Xenia, given the town's history, but we're going to watch it. We're going to watch that. That's it. There's a little bit of spin there. The strongest storm by far is the one near Alexandria, Kentucky, and Taylor Mill right now. That does threaten Claremont County. So just to be and again, I can't zoom in on every town that I get a request for. There's just too many. But what I can tell you is if you're not in Northern Kentucky or Claremont County, Ohio, I'm not worried about you right now. I'm watching Xenia, and I'm watching this one up here, New London, near New London in southern Lorain County because of its history. But everywhere else does not have an immediate tornado threat. I could say you can go to bed if you live anywhere else but Northern Kentucky and Claremont County, Ohio. Those are the only two spots that I would say stay awake and watch. Columbus, you should be fine. I would still have a way to be awakened if a warning is issued, meaning our Ohio News and Weather app, or a NOAA weather radio if you have one. I know you can't go out to the store and buy one at 1 a.m, but if you have one, it would be a good idea to plug it in, make sure it has batteries. Or what you can also do is make sure that wireless emergency alerts are enabled on your phone. And I have an Android phone. And I'm going to try to find that for you on my Android phone. I'm sure it's very similar a um on a an iPhone, I should say. But if you go to notifications, and I believe it's in advanced. Yes. So on an Android phone, if you want to make sure the wireless emergency alerts are turned on, you would go to your notifications right here. And then you would click on advanced settings. And then down here, there is something called wireless emergency alerts. So if you click on that, it'll ask if you want the alerts. You want the alerts, especially on a night like tonight, because while we only have one tornado warned storm, we've seen a lot of spin ups tonight. So just be careful. I know I probably wasn't holding it close enough for the camera for you to see, but this is on an Android phone, probably similar process for iPhones as well. You're going to want to have that enabled if you don't have our app or a way to be awakened. Though that'll go off for a tornado warning. It won't usually go off for severe thunderstorm warnings unless it's like a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, so 80-mile-per-hour plus winds. It will go off for flash flooding. If you're in a flash flood warning, it'll go off for you. It won't go off if you are outside of a flash flood warning. So, all right. So, Huron County, yes, Huron County, Ohio is in the clear. I would the storm that had the history of producing that tornado has weakened significantly. It's the remnants of that storm are right here along State Route 162 between Spencer and Rochester in southern Lorain County. It does not appear to be rotating anymore. In fact, it's north of the warm front now, so it's not in an area that can produce a lot of energy anymore. The storms near Ravenna, Warren, and Youngstown, those again I'm not too concerned about. I don't see any rotation in there. No areas of rotation right now. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not too concerned. Really, the only storm I'm concerned about right now with immediate concern, stay awake if you're in this area, is Northern Kentucky and Claremont County. The Northern Kentucky tornado warning will expire in 15 minutes, approximately, maybe 16. And it's showing a little hook on the radar near Alexandria, Kentucky. If I turn on the CVG, okay, yep, there we go. That's why I wanted Claremont County to stay awake. We now have a new tornado warning for Claremont County, Ohio. The Claremont County tornado warning is going to run until 1:45 in the morning. So, all right, here we go. Tornado warning for Claremont County, Ohio. Brand new, just issued. Let's see the details. Radar indicated rotation. We definitely see the hook near Alexandria, Kentucky. And it's heading across the Ohio River into Ohio. This storm does have a history of producing a tornado. There was a confirmed tornado near Rising Sun, Indiana, just south of CVG Airport about 30 minutes ago. Same storm. So let's take a look at it. Again, there's a hook on radar near Alexandria, and it's about to cross into Ohio, hence the tornado warning for Amelia. So that is going to include Batavia, you are not in the warning, but Bethel, New Richmond, California, Ohio, State Route 222, State Route 132, are all in this tornado warning. All right, let's take a look at velocity. Yeah, we have a very strong indicator of rotation here just to the northeast of Alexandria, Kentucky, and it is about to cross into Ohio. I would say that Anderson Township is probably safe in southern Hamilton County, but it's close. Amelia, you need to be in your basement. New Richmond, you need to be, or I should say safe spot. Not everyone has a basement, but away from windows, interior portion of your home. If you're in a mobile home, you have a couple of minutes to get out of there and into a sturdy shelter. This storm is moving very quickly. It's moving due east at 45 miles per hour. So it's going to be across the river here within a minute or two. So, and that'll be good news for northern Kentucky, but now we're concerned about Ohio. So this is Claremont County, Ohio. The tornado warning is going to run until 1:45 this morning. And this storm has a history of producing a tornado. It has produced a tornado. It may not be right now, but it has done it in the last half hour. All right, let's see if we've got some comments here. I'm going to try to read what I can. Manchester around 52. Let's take a look. Trying to get that to pop up on my radar. It was popping up. Yeah, if you're along US 52, I would be in your safe spot no matter what. Downtown Cincinnati, no, I believe downtown is fine. It is coming from the east. Miamisburg, Ohio is safe. Let's see. Tornadoes heading to toward Wright State. Not really. I do believe Wright State area is fine. There is no indication of any rotation near there. I do see some weak rotation leaving Xenia near Cedarville, but I am not concerned about it right now. I think it's very weak. It's the same storm that produced rotation about an hour ago in northern Butler and southern Montgomery County, but it's not strengthening to the point of concern yet. But we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it because things can spin up quickly here tonight. The Dayton radar not showing anything too concerning there. But the main area of concern right now is the tornado warning in south central Claremont County, including Amelia and US 52, until 1:45 this morning. All of the northern Ohio storms have weakened. Columbus area is just seeing rain, and that should be the case. But we are going to watch that storm in Greene County just because of its history. It's not currently threatening a tornado, but just because of its history, we're going to keep an eye on it. All right. So really, where the main threat right now is Amelia, New Richmond, along US 52 in Claremont County. The area of rotation is now crossing into Ohio. So let's see here. Yeah, if there's anything rotating or on the ground, it's crossing the Ohio River right now north of New Richmond. If we turn on the Cincinnati airport radar, it does show that it's not super strong, but it could be at any moment. And it's crossing the river, about to head towards Amelia. So Amelia, you need to be in your safe spot. New Richmond, certainly, it's there now. Anywhere along US 52 in Claremont County, Bethel, Williamsburg, any of the state routes like State Route 222, State Route 132, State Route 749, and US 52 in Claremont County. Again, if I'm not mentioning this area, you are fine. I do not see any other tornadoes or immediate tornado threat anywhere else. Just Claremont County, just New Richmond and Amelia, as of right now. That is a strong area of rotation that about 40 minutes ago, when it was back here near Rising Sun, was producing a tornado. So because of its history and because of the strong rotation currently crossing the Ohio River, the National Weather Service has elected to continue a tornado warning, and I agree with it. I think there is a threat for a tornado to drop in this area. It may not be happening right now, but it could happen given the storm's history. Let's take a look to see if we see any debris from this storm. There's a weak debris signature near New Richmond. So it's possible that we could have a weak tornado that is either touched down or recently touched down, or some strong wind in the area. So we're really watching it very, very closely. There's a bit of a hook on the radar near Amelia. So Amelia, Williamsburg, Bethel need to be in your safe spot. Everywhere else, we are safe at the moment. That said, as soon as I said that, we now have a new tornado warning. This is actually now including a very small portion of western Butler County and a very, very, very small portion of Hamilton County, including the city of Harrison. We now have a new tornado warning in effect. This is going to run until 1:30 this morning for this strong storm that's about to cross from Indiana into Ohio. So this does include I-74 from Harrison to Batesville. That is the most likely place for a tornado, and we do have some strong rotation on radar right here, northeast of Batesville, Indiana, north of I-74, Butler County, Ohio, and Harrison, Ohio. So Harrison, Ohio, which is part of Hamilton County, a small portion of Hamilton County, is now under a tornado warning for a strongly rotating storm. There may be a weak debris signature there. So we'll have to see if this strengthens at all. And this is going to run until 1:30. Okay, so we're getting more active again. Also, we have a flash flood warning now for most of Cincinnati. Most of the cities of Cincinnati, including northern Kentucky, is now under a flash flood warning. A considerable flash flood warning. That means there is flash flooding ongoing in Cincinnati right now. Springboro is clear for now, yes. If I'm not mentioning your town, you are not in the threat right now. Yeah, northern Ohio is pretty much clear other than heavy rain, but we are seeing some rotating storms here now in southern Ohio, particularly in southern Clermont County near Amelia, and now this new tornado warning for western Butler and the Harrison, Ohio area of Hamilton County. That tornado warning is going to run until 1:30. And then we also have the Clermont County run that's going to run until 1:45. We do not have any confirmed tornadoes at this time, but we do have strong rotation in two areas. One near New Richmond, Ohio. I do believe that the tornado threat has now crossed into Ohio. Let's look at the velocity. Yeah, it's crossed into Ohio. I mean, it appears that it's right on the border, but it is moving so fast, east at 45 miles per hour, that let's say it's right here, New Richmond, US 52. There's some strong rotation there. Amelia, you still need to be in your safe spot. Bethel and Williamsburg, including State Route 222 and 133 and 132. So some major state routes there. Let's see. All right. So yes, we're still tracking that severe thunderstorm cable producing a tornado in Clermont County. Let's jump back up to the northern one now. The northern one being near Brookville, Indiana. Brookville, Indiana, not Brookville, Ohio. So this is going to be heading towards Cedar Grove. There's an area of strong rotation right here. So that's going to be US 52 in Indiana, just north of I-74 in Indiana. So Harrison, Ohio, you are included in the warning. Oxford, Ohio, near Miami University, you're barely outside the warning. I would keep an eye out in Oxford. If you're in Butler County, most of you are not in the warning right now. So Hamilton's not in the warning, Fairfield's not in the warning. Middletown not in the warning. But because this is heading toward you and it is currently tornado warned, I would stay awake if you're in Butler County again. Just because of this area of strong rotation that I am concerned about. I'm hoping it falls apart, but it is an area of strong rotation that we need to consider. All right, so bigger picture, we have two active tornado warnings in our coverage area. This one here for Western Butler and the Harrison, Ohio portion of Hamilton County, Ohio. That's going to run until 1:30. And then we also have this tornado warning down here near Amelia, Ohio, and New Richmond, Ohio, until 1:45. These storms are strong. We can see just how big these supercell thunderstorms are. This one and this one. And those are the two big ones. We are still watching some storms in southern Indiana that are strong. There's a strong storm over Bloomington. I should say a severe storm. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. And another one back here further in Indiana. I am hoping that the atmosphere's energy is tapped out enough that we don't need to worry too much about it. But meaning that I'm hoping the atmosphere is turned over enough and the energy is used up. But we're watching it, especially because we have these two warnings in Ohio. Now, I know I'm getting a lot of questions about the rest of Ohio. The rest of Ohio, if you are not in Claremont or Butler County, I'm not concerned about tornadoes right now. I know we're getting some heavier rain in Columbus right now. I'm not concerned about tornadoes in Columbus. I'm not, even the city of Cincinnati, Cincinnati is currently bordered by two tornado producing storms, but right now the city of Cincinnati is not under a tornado threat. City of Cincinnati is, though, under a flash flooding threat, particularly, and this is the language the National Weather Service is using, a considerable threat, meaning that it's a little more elevated than a typical flash flooding threat. We could be seeing multiple highly populated areas experiencing flash flooding. That'll affect people's basements. That'll affect, Cincinnati is a very hilly city. That's going to affect people parked on the streets. That's going to affect roadways being opened in general right now. So there's a lot of severe weather going on in the Cincinnati general area. But why don't we take a look at our areas of rotation again? The area I'm concerned about is now clearly in Claremont County now. There's a little notch and hook here on the radar south of Amelia. This is an area I am concerned about. So if we turn our velocity here, it looks like the rotation is just south of 125 and right along State Route 222 is where the rotation is right now. If we turn the Cincinnati Airport radar on, we're starting to get a little far from the Cincinnati Airport radar now. But again, it's that same area, 222 south of 125. So Amelia itself looks to be in better shape. Bethel still needs to be in a safe spot. I think Bethel is definitely in danger still. Williamsburg as well. So Williamsburg and Bethel, and we're going to have to see if this holds together into Brown County. So if you're in Brown County and you're still awake, might want to stay awake for a little while and see what happens here. But Brown County, you do have time to prepare. Claremont County, Bethel and Williamsburg are the areas I'm concerned about. State Route 222. Places in Claremont County I'm not concerned about. If you're north of Amelia, you're good. Milford, you're fine. Loveland, you're fine. Newtonsville, Mont Repose, Owensville, Batavia. All of those locations I'm not worried about in Claremont County. It's just here between Bethel and Williamsburg that I'm most concerned about now. Right here along State Route 222. New Richmond even, I believe, things are getting better. All right, let's take a look at the other storm. Let's see. We do have an update from the Weather Service here. We're seeing a lot of pink on the radar. I wonder if we're getting a little bit of hail. Taylor Mill, Kentucky, yes. You can go to bed. in Taylor Mill. Hamilton, I would stay awake. You don't need to shelter yet, but you should be staying up and watching. Hamilton, stay awake. Yes. So yeah, Hamilton's not in the warning, but it's close to you, and far western Butler County is. So we could see an extension of that. I'm seeing what could be some large hail. I do not see a I'm gonna refresh my text feed here. Where is it? Radar indicated. So we do not have a confirmed tornado. Although there is, I'm wondering if this is hail here between Brookville and Cedar Grove. Because we're seeing a lot of purple on the radar. That usually tells me that's hail. But when I turn on the debris tracker, I see a little bit of debris. Now, we could be seeing, I don't know. Let me look at the velocity here. We do have some strong rotation. There could be, or could have been, a brief tornado on the ground. Still a decent amount of rotation as it heads into Ohio. So again, if you are in Butler County, you've got a little time to get to your safe spot. I would go ahead and get in your safe spot just in case, because it's moving very fast. This storm is moving east at 50 miles per hour. So we could see the tornado warning extended into Butler County again, including Hamilton and Fairfield, here soon. So let's just exercise caution in this messy, dangerous storm that's heading toward Butler County. So again, the tornado warning is due to expire at 1:30, but boy, there could be some hail, there could be some lofted debris. It's messy and hard to determine. I don't think there's a tornado on the ground right now, but I do think we could be seeing spin ups, like down and up, down and up, and that's why we do have that tornado warning still in effect. Youngstown, Ohio, and Medina should be okay. Northeast Ohio should be fine. I'm not worried about Northeast Ohio. Thank you. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right. Shayna Peterson. Sorry if I got your name wrong, but I appreciate the nice words. Thank you very much. Northern Brown County. Let's look at Brown County. Northern Brown County, yes. I don't think this panhandle portion of Brown County, I don't believe there's a major threat for tornado there. If it's going to impact Brown County, it's going to be like Georgetown, Hamersville, Sardinia, Bethel. There's a little hook still on the radar. Still a hook over Bethel. Still some areas of rotation near Bethel, but I'm also seeing maybe some rotation up here near Williamsburg. Some weak rotation there. Let's check the CVG radar again. Okay. The rotation near Williamsburg is a little weaker. But it is